if a dentist spilled his mercury putting an amalgam into a patient's mouth and it landed on the floor, he would have to close the operatorium for at least 2 days. But the mercury is allowed to be put into a flu vaccine and injected into a child's system. And in the flu vaccine itself, it says it's not tested on pregnant women or children under 5. Yet in New York, you're mandated to use the flu to admit children into school unless they have the flu vaccine under the age of 5, which is contradictory to what's on the flu vaccine itself.
Now, where do you see this debate in like 5 years from now?
I don't believe that. I think there's enough information out there that could be looked at objectively, and people are too emotionally tied to the vaccine. The medical profession is a three-legged stool. Surgery, medication, and vaccines. If any one of those 3 legs falls apart, the profession will fall apart. And vaccine is the easiest thing at this point to tear apart. There's too much research that people should be looking at. It's been documented across the board. It's not looked at because there's too much of an emotional commitment in saying that we're right, and it's been done for 70, 80 years, and it's not accurate.
Now, do you know any Jewish doctors that changed their opinion over the last 3 months because of this debate, and they were very pro, and now they became, wait a minute, like an anti, like something is wrong?
I don't know any physicians that have changed, but I am aware of a number of physicians who were emergency medical physicians who learned along the way that vaccines are a problem. They were responsible for people in emergency rooms, and now they acknowledge the fact that vaccines are a real problem.
Mm-hmm. And are they afraid to say their opinion publicly?
They're on YouTube, they've written books, they're quite around, they're asked to speak across the country, but not enough people want to listen to them. The media isn't asking them to participate in discussion.
Do you think the anti-vax movement is growing because of this debate?
Very clearly. Very clearly. When you have a lawsuit that's won regarding information from HHS, and they tell you very clearly there has been no documentation to indicate that these vaccines are safe. HHS brought the information because they were sued, and they clearly indicated in 1986 they were supposed to be responsible for sending out safety and efficacy material every 2 years, like medicine, like a medication drug. In 32 years they have sent out 0 reports. 0. There's no documentation. HHS said it was. They gave it to CDC. CDC made the statement to the FDA. The FDA gives it to the International Medical Committee, and it goes down the line, one lie after another, and there's no documentation to it all, and that's documented with the lawsuit.
Do you know anyone personally that has taken the MMR vaccine and then something happened to them?
I have. I've had 2 patients, I have 3 patients in my office that have been damaged by vaccines, whether it's MMR or others, I don't know, but it was clear.
And you were the one that administered? You gave them MMR?
I'm not a medical doctor, I'm a chiropractor. My patients come to me for alternative care because they're tired of medical care and its complications.
And how many days after did something happen to them? What's the story?
Two of them was within 10 days. They developed fevers. One developed a seizure. I don't remember the
Okay, and the one with the seizure still has seizures. Is this a lifelong problem now?
Yes.
It's not going to go away.
I'm not the physician, so I can't tell you.
But you see the patient, right? I mean, it's someone who still has it.
The other one is.
How many years ago was this? Did this happen?
15 years. And the other one I see now is a young lady who's going to be 17, and she's autistic.
And how long after the MMR shot did she become autistic?
I forget what the mother told me. I can't give you an answer. I won't read it because I'm not sure.
But the mother claimed that was also right after the MMR shot?
Yeah. Well, not right after, but in close proximity to the time. So there's a lot of information. You have people who are sued and lose their license because they were told that, or said that the literature or the research that they produced was fraudulent. And then they lost their license. And that occurred in England. And then the co-author 6 years later sued and got his license back, and the judge made it very clear that they had no right to take the license away, and there was no fraud involved at all.
And what was his name?
Dr. Walker Smith. Walker Smith. And years later, 6 years later, he got his license back. But what happened to him? And the world's authority, what happened to his reputation?